All right, welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive, taking a focused listen to Keeno Worldwide's 2023 EP, Beverly Hills Vol. 3, 6 tracks. Quite a bit to get into, actually.
Yeah, and what jumps out right away, I think, is that this is his 30th studio EP. 30!
30th, wow.
Yeah, it's a huge body of work, right? It really hints at this continuous artistic journey he's been on. We can probably even see some of that evolution just in these 6 tracks.
30 EPs is just incredible output. So, yeah, for this dive, we're looking at what makes Beverly Hills Vol. 3 kind of tick, especially the collaborations and how much Keeno himself shaped the final thing.
And the collaborations are interesting. You see, so Special producing 3 tracks the opener Airports, then Angel Dust, and Shows and Tours.
Okay, so Special did half the EP, basically.
Pretty much. And that first track, Airports, it uses this kind of like echoing synth. It sets a very specific mood right from the start, quite reflective, I'd say.
Definitely felt that with Airports.
Mm-hmm.
Sets a tone.
Yeah.
And having So Special on 3 tracks, it suggests they clicked, a strong synergy there.
For sure. Then you've got Juju on Chilling, and that one apparently has an intro section.
Yeah, it does. What does that usually signal, you think? An intro on a track like that?
Well, it probably means it builds things up a bit, establishes a certain vibe or atmosphere before the main part of Chilling really gets going. Maybe a bit more layered.
Okay, that makes sense. Then track 5 is Dream, an interlude.
Right.
Produced by Anno Domini Nation.
Right.
An interlude feels pretty deliberate in just a 6-track EP.
Oh, absolutely. It suggests a shift, maybe, a moment to pause, change the energy or the perspective within the EP's flow, like a little breathing space.
A breather, yeah, like resetting before the end.
Exactly. These shorter, kind of introspective bits can be really crucial transitions.
And that brings us to the last track, Still Searching. Now, this one's interesting because Keeno Worldwide produced it himself, putting that self-produced track right at the end. Does that feel significant?
I think so, yeah. Often, ending with a track the artist produced entirely themselves, it can feel like a personal statement, Or bringing things back to their core themes to wrap up that particular project.
And the title, Still Searching.
Right. That title fits perfectly with this idea of an ongoing journey, artistic growth, all that stuff. It ties it together nicely thematically.
So beyond just the production credits and collaborations, what really stands out is Keeno's own deep involvement. He recorded it, mixed it, mastered it all himself.
That's huge.
How does that level of, total control usually affect the sound?
Well, it almost always means you get a very cohesive sound, a really unified sonic signature across the whole EP. Every little piece has been filtered through his specific vision.
Right, no compromises, maybe?
Or at least only his own compromises. It leads to this unified listening experience. You can often hear that distinct texture when one person handles everything.
And if you want to hear this unified sound, it's all up on YouTube for streaming.
Yep. Readily available. Yeah. Which is always good, making the art accessible.
Okay.
And he seems to lean into that connection, too. He has the online merch store, ships internationally, apparently.
Oh, yeah?
Digital gift cards, even a weekly newsletter. Just different ways for listeners to connect beyond streaming the tracks.
Right, building that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive here.
Mm-hmm.
Beverly Hills Vol. 3 really feels like a snapshot. It shows Keeno Worldwide as collaborative, but also intensely personal.
Mm-hmm.
And it marks this big milestone, the 30th EP in a pretty prolific career.
It really does. Which maybe brings us to a final thought for you listening. How does knowing an artist has such a huge back catalog, like Keeno's 30 EPs, change how you hear the latest release? Mm-hmm. What kind of threads might you find if you explored more of his work? Thinking about that whole journey of artistic evolution over time, something to chew on.